Hello, everyone. This is Drop the Mic Live Mic. I am Shannon E. This is season 2, episode 15, guys. Episode 15. Okay. I want you guys, hopefully, you guys got your kids in bed, you got everything settled down, and you're ready to unwind. Okay. I want you guys to share this live with each and every person that you know that is up or is not up. Okay. Whoever does not see this live, they will catch the replay. All right. This is Drop the Like Live Mic on tonight. So, guys, first and foremost, it's been a while. Okay. It's definitely been a while. And to all of my new followers, I just want you guys, hopefully, you guys are tapping in for all the right reasons, but I want you guys to understand who I am and what it is that I do on tonight. Okay. Drop the Mic Live Mic is a safe space, first and foremost. We are going to be on here tonight talking on another candid conversation. But this is what we do on Drop the Mic Live Mic. We talk about conversations that are getting swept underneath the rug, or certain things that, we think that we're the only ones that can relate, but there's more people out there who definitely can relate. Okay. This is what it is, and this is what it's about. Yeah, just tune in. We're gonna have a great show on tonight. Okay. So the topic of conversation for tonight is, does age matter in dating or relationships? Okay. Usually I don't really like to tap into the whole relationship thing. However, because Drop the Mic Live Mic is based off of mental health, mental wellness, and mental awareness, right? It is a broad spectrum of things to talk about. Relationships being one of them. All right. Um, Age is a very relevant, very relevant conversation. Okay, that does not get spoken about enough. Age differences in relationships. Okay, there are a lot of people out there who, date for personalities, they date for whatever it is that they date for. They're just dating on a broad spectrum. They are not looking at age. They're not looking at differences in age. They're not looking at, anything revolving an age difference. And that goes from the younger version of people to the older version of people. Okay. It is not just the older version looking down to the younger version to date. Okay. Many and plenty people have their reservations on why they date younger or why they date older. Right. And in all of those situations, none of those situations are wrong. Okay, it is to each his own. I just want to be very clear before we get started that it is to each his own. It is to whatever floats your boat, and it is, it just is what it is. Okay, there are a lot of beautiful relationships that have made it, that are still going, that has inspired others, and so on and so forth, from these age gap relationships. Okay. So I just want to put that out there first and foremost. Okay. But we all know that with every good, there can be a bad, right? And with every bad, there's going to be good. Okay. So we're going to talk about the healthy balances on tonight, and we're going to talk about the unhealthy balances on tonight when it comes to the age difference in dating and relationships. All right. Cool. Everybody with me? Good. So, first and foremost, I just want to ask the question, like, does it even matter? Does it matter when it comes to age in a relationship? In my opinion, I'm going to say yes. Okay. I have to say yes. It does matter whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It definitely does matter when it comes to age gap, or a age difference when it comes to dating and being in relationships. Okay. It is not society's norm, right, to see a difference in age when it comes to relationships. In fact, it definitely can have a stigma behind it, right? Depending on the age and depending who you're dating and what age they are. Okay. It can have more of a very detrimental stigma behind it, to be honest with you. Okay. There are a lot of talk, in regards to just difference of opinions when it comes to that age gap. Okay, when it comes to the sexual orientation of the age gap, meaning a man to a woman, an older man to a younger woman, when it comes to even an older woman to a younger man, you understand the differences in the age, right? So, for example, you can be like in your 40s and you could be dating, someone in your 30s, and that probably wouldn't be spoken about as much as if you were like in your 30s dating someone like in your 20s, right? Or if you're in your 20s dating someone in their teens, right? Because it gets there, it goes there, and it's very much there. You understand what I'm saying? So that is all the difference in when it comes to dating and being in a relationship in the age gap. Okay, and the stigmas that it comes with, and the biases that it comes with, and the rights or wrongs, all of those things that it come with. It is definitely and most definitely category based, categorized. So, does it matter? Yes, absolutely it does. In my opinion, especially when it comes to the differences in opinions, outlooks, and expectations. Okay. When someone is dating older, you have differences in expectations, you have differences in opinions, and you have differences in outlooks. Okay, let's keep it all the way a buck, let's keep it all the way real. Like, if someone is dating 10 years apart or more, right, you're in a different decade, right? So your expectations are going to be different, your outlooks are going to be different, and your opinions on things are going to be different. Okay. And all of those things are called core values when it comes to dating. Okay. Core values when it comes to dating. These are things that are imperative because it is things that are going to matter when nothing else matters in your relationship and dating someone. Building, growing, longevity, things of that nature. All of those things are going to matter. They may seem small, but they're on a larger scale, and it is going to make or break the version of your relationship. Added on to age, age gaps, differences in age. Okay, so I just want you guys to keep that in mind, why those things are very imperative. There's a lot of other things that we could talk about and that we could discuss that may be just imperative, but those are things that are imperative as well. Okay. Why does it matter? Like, why does age matter in a relationship, and why does age matter when it comes to dating? So I just named 3 things for you guys, but we can sum it up into one important thing: because of core values. Okay, our core values have to align, period. Whatever they may be, they have to align. If it's hard enough when you're dating, period, that your core values should align. But if you are in a different decade from your partner, right? You grew up different due to age and age only, right? Let alone your personality and X, Y, and Z. We'll get into those things later. But due to your age alone, you are in a different decade. You saw different things, you experienced different things, and all of those things, your core values have to align. It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. I feel it's facts though. Like, it's my opinion, because this is how I think of things. However, these are facts. Okay. And 2 things could be true at once. So these are facts, and this is my opinion. Okay, I'm just naming this part of it. Someone else may have another part of what core values are that are important when it comes to age differences and things like that. But either way you want to slice it, it is still core values that is imperative when it comes to why does it matter. Doesn't matter when it comes to a male, a female, a boy child, or a child. So, like I was saying, if you're dating someone who's 18, and if you're dating someone who's 16, right, and you're 25, or whatever case may be, that might look crazy, right? We might fall into the whole stigma of pedophilia. We might, yeah, it may give pedophile. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Okay. as opposed to someone who is dating in their 30s to their 20s. That might even still give pedophilia, right? But we're going up the ladder now. We're going up the ladder. We're a little bit more grown. We're past the whole 18 thing. We're far past the whole 18 thing or whatever. Hopefully, maybe we're 20, who knows? But it's giving a little bit up the ladder, but it's still close to what do you want with someone who is, just coming out of their teens, right? And you're 30. It's getting pedophilia. So then we have the aspect of someone who is 40 dating someone in their 30s, right? That might not give pedophilia. Why? Because that 30-year-old has experienced certain things that 40-year-old has experienced already. Okay, we are in two different decades or whatever, but we both have at this point of life experienced a lot of the same things, right? You're damn near through your 30s, and I'm like just reaching 40, or I'm almost through my 40s, or whatever the case may be. A lot of the times that age group might hang out with the same age group. You understand? So we have experienced a lot of the same things. So now we will look better dating, right? On paper, it was seen better dating, right? So when it comes to the age thing, cool. It does matter though. Yes. Male to female. I think that it matters as well when it comes to male to female, when it comes to an older male and a younger female, right? Versus a younger male and an older woman, right? I feel like with the older male, there's more stigma. And an older male with a younger woman, I feel like there's more stigma. As much as some people will agree and feel like, a younger woman should be with an older man and things like that. And maybe the opposite of the older woman being with a younger man or whatever case may be. But I really feel like that has to do with the sex of the person that's judging. Meaning like if there's a woman judging another woman, or there's a man judging another man, or whatever the case is. I really do think it has more to do with that than anything else. But there are stigmas. There are harder stigmas, in my opinion, when it comes to the older male dating a younger woman. Okay. So when they ask, does it matter? Is there a difference? Yes, I do think that there is a difference. I think that people judge it in a different way. I don't think that there's a difference, but I think that people judge it in a different way. Okay, it's definitely being judged in a different way. All right, when the older woman is dating a younger man, it's like, oh girl, what you like? But it is what it is, especially if that younger man is not carrying himself like a young boy child. Like he's carrying himself as a man. He is doing what he's supposed to be doing as a man in that relationship, and he is handling his handle. Okay, people gonna turn the blind eye. They're gonna turn the eye. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I said the boy child, the girl child. All right. So when it comes to a younger version of what we're talking about on tonight, right? When it comes to the younger version of that, once again, if I think about a 26-year-old dating a 16-year-old, that looks crazy. Right? That looks crazy. In the eyes of some people, that looks crazy. Your mom is never going to know you was dating this guy. Probably nobody in your family is going to know you was dating this guy. A lot of the times those type of situations happen and nobody knows until the girl turns 18 or, 21 or whatever the case may be. You hear a lot of stories where it's like, oh, we had to hide our relationship or whatever until I was old enough, or, stuff like that, or whatever the case is. That's because of the stigma. That's because it does matter when it comes to the difference in sex. The boy child with the girl child. Now, if we're going to talk like real children, right? Like 16 and 14 or 16 and 13 and stuff like that, that still looks crazy when it comes to the boy child versus the girl child. Okay. I don't know if it's unheard of, or I don't know. I know that it's not unheard of, but it's not heard of often when it comes to like a 16-year-old girl dating like a 13-year-old boy or something like that. Like those kind of things don't really come to light. I'm not naive to know that it is a real thing and it really does happen, but those type of things you don't hear about too often, right? So they're not being stigmatized, they're not being judged, they're not being acknowledged or anything like that. But a lot of the times you'll hear about the 16-year-old boy who went to date the 13-year-old girl, or who was sleeping with the 13-year-old girl, or something like that. You'll hear those things, okay? You just will. And it matters. It matters. It's talked about. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it's frowned upon. It's like it's just like not it. Like it ain't it. It ain't hitting. It's not it. Like at all, right? Um. So, question. What part of it matters? The age, the experience, or the maturity? Okay. We all the time, and often, and all the time. Age ain't nothing but a number. Throwing down ain't nothing but a thing. Loving I have for you, it'll never change. All right, that was a bad example. Horrible. Horrible, but excuse me, right? That was a bad example because, okay, let's just have it Celia real quick. 14, and I don't know how old he was, but she was a little girl, married, messing with this man, whatever the case may be. It just was crazy. It looked crazy, and it was crazy. It was just how it looked. Okay. But what part of it mattered more? Was it the age? Was it the experience? Or was it the maturity? What made it matter? What made does age matter when it came to what mattered? The age, the experience, or the maturity? In my opinion, age is nothing but a number, right? But it's a number. Like we're not going to just knock it out the box completely, right? So we usually say age ain't nothing but a number because it doesn't matter how you act. Like you can be a certain age, right? And you can have the maturity of another age, or whatever case may be, or you can have the immaturity of another age. That's why we say age is nothing but a number. Okay, but age does matter. It does matter, right? And it matters when people want it to matter. So even if we was to say like age ain't nothing but a number, if you're like 30 years old, but you want to act like you're 25 years old or whatever, but you're doing it in an inappropriate manner or a negative way, you are going to be frowned upon because you are 30. And your age going to keep coming to light. Why you 30 acting like, why you 30 saying this? Why you 30 when you, why you 30, like it's going to be a lot of that. So when it comes to age ain't nothing but a number, like, yeah, but no. Okay. Experience, yes, it definitely matters when it comes to the experience because no matter how much you look younger than what you are, no matter how much you look older than what you are, your experience is always going to shape and mold and shape and mold you. Okay? It's the experience that shapes and mold you. If you are an older person dating a younger no, we're gonna tap into younger. If you are a younger person dating an older person, right, and you have lack of experience in a lot of situations, or you have not you have lack of experience. Yeah, we're gonna just keep it there for right now. You have lack of experience in a lot of situations. You are not going to know how to maneuver in an adult relationship, like in an older, more experienced relationship. You're not going to necessarily have the tools to do that, right? We're learning and we're teaching and we're learning and we're absorbing and we're going through things each and every day, all day long. We're not None of us is going to just know what to do in relationships, right? And I truly believe that relationships are each one teach one, like it's to each his own type of thing or whatever, because you can think you know everything, but depending on who you're dealing with, you don't know shit. So with that being said, it's definitely experience does matter. Like experience is very important. Okay. So if you're dating someone older and you lack experience, okay, I don't know if you're being looked to, I don't know if you're being looked to be taught something. But that might help you. You know what I'm saying? But depending on who you with, if you're not gonna be taught something and then you still lack experience, your age is just growing, but your experience is staying stagnant. Okay, so yes, it does matter for age, experience, and the last one, maturity. All right. Um, being mature, we're gonna go back to that thing where it say age ain't nothing but a number. Okay, that's another reason why they be like age ain't nothing but a number. Because on the flip side of things, on a positive note, like if you're a mature person and you're a certain age or whatever case may be, like you could kind of get like overlooked. Like your age could kind of get overlooked, right? Oh, I didn't want to date her because she was only 14, right? But your maturity was like you was like 19. Okay. Um, maturity matters. If I had to choose maturity, experience, or age when it comes to what part matters more, I wouldn't be able to say what part matters more because they all matter. They all matter. Okay, age, experience, and maturity. Like when it comes to dating, outside of your age or whatever case may be, all of those things factor in and all of those things come to play. Okay. I have been a girly who has never dated my age. Okay. Everyone I've dated was older than me. All right, whether it be from 2 years to 10. Okay. and not only did age, maturity, and experience matter for them, right? But it mattered for me. Me being a girly, being younger, dating older, it still mattered for me. Okay. Because when you are underage, when you are inexperienced, and when you lack the maturity that you may need to have in an adult relationship in order to have awareness and mental health and mental stability and a healthy core valued relationship, right? You don't have those things, you going to experience more than you can handle in that time. Okay, you might not be prepared as you thought you were. Okay, you are not setting expectations and you don't have the resources, that you need or whatever the case may be from previous situations to be able to fight against whatever's coming your way. Okay, this is real. Like this is real. It's real. Okay, it's real. So all of it matters. Age, maturity, experience, all of that matters when it comes to dating outside your age, whether you be young or whether you be old. And then let's talk about it. We can talk about it on the older side of things. If you are an older person dating younger, that person's age, that person experience, and that person maturity matters for all of the same reasons. One thing about older people, we never want to feel like we going backwards. Okay. If we done did that and we done that, we do not want to feel like we going backwards too much. Okay. We may love the thrill of the youthful behavior, but we don't want to feel like we going backwards, child. That's not conducive to one, our forwardness. That's not conducive to our look. That's not conducive to our age. That's not conducive, like our age group, our peers and stuff like that. That's not conducive to our lifestyle that we have today. Okay. So all of that has to play a factor when you're deciding to date younger, when you're deciding to date older. Like all of that has to come into play. So, is there ever a time when it does not matter? Is there ever a time when age does not matter? I don't know. I never thought about that. I never seen or really heard of a time where age don't matter. Like, I mean, people just be winging it. They just be doing what they do, and they don't be caring what nobody got to say or whatever. So it looks like there's times where age doesn't matter. But in my opinion, I feel like age matters. In dating and relationships and stuff like that, like it matters. It's like the forefront of everything else when it is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's a forefront. It's just like everything else that you have a boundary on or a stipulation on or whatever case may be. It's the same. It to some people it may be more detrimental. Some people it's not. Some people like dating older and younger and think that that's actually the thing to do. Like it don't just fall on their lap. Like they intentionally go out to search and find a younger spouse, right? Or an older spouse. Okay. No, we can't help who we love. No, we can't help who we attract, right? We can't. However, we can help who we get in a relationship with. We can help who we decide to share the rest of our life with. Okay? Unless you hear it in your ear, God says so himself that this is your partner for life. Okay? We can help it. And we don't want to help it. And that's cool too. All I'm saying is that we got to know what we know and we have to know what we're doing. All that it comes with. Is it a time where it doesn't matter? No. In my opinion, it's never a time when it doesn't matter. It's always a time. It always matters. Like I don't know. It always matters. And when I say matter, I don't mean like, oh, it's a bad thing or whatever case may be. Like it's gonna make a difference in this and that or whatever case is. Because you can work around it if it's work aroundable. You can work around anything. So, but it matters. It matters. We ain't gonna act like it don't matter because it matters. So yeah. What makes it unacceptable if it is unacceptable, and what makes it acceptable if it's acceptable? Okay. What makes it unacceptable is when let me see if I could come up with an example that I could say makes it unacceptable. Um when it's just not a fit. Like if the parents don't, if you're dating a really younger person, right? And like to the point where their parents still have like control over their life, um, and the parents don't agree with what's going on, it's not acceptable to date that person. It is not acceptable to date anybody under 18. Let's be clear. You over 18, it's not acceptable to date anybody younger than 21. Forget 18, okay? Because that's still too young. It's not acceptable to date anybody under 21 years old and you're over 21. Okay. It's not acceptable to date anybody 20 years younger than you. Okay. I'm giving y'all the benefit of the doubt with the 10. The 20 though, ugh, I don't know. It's giving like imagine me not being born when you was 20. Like that's crazy. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Imagine me being 20 when you are 40. I don't know. It's giving daughter. It's giving little son. No. So yeah, I mean, those are just some examples of when it's not accepted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, and what makes it acceptable? I mean, what makes it acceptable is love, right? Like love is love, and I'm all for love and things of that nature. Like I said when I started this conversation, plenty and many of beautiful relationships have transpired with age gaps, and we can't take nothing from that. Okay, you wouldn't even know that these people have the age gap that they have because they are magnificently and wonderfully made. Let's start there. And then they don't look like one is younger or one is older. They're both doing their thing. They're both doing the same. They're working together to make it work. Okay, one is not like outside while the other is like a business person, more structured. The other one is like, not as structured, not disciplined, things like that. It doesn't look all over the place. Okay, but more so than not, love is what makes it acceptable. Like love is love. Right. And if it's healthy, right? Because it only has to be healthy because I don't agree with the comment of love being unhealthy. It turns into something else. But that's another topic. When there's love in that space, I think it's very acceptable. Okay. That's when God has entered you guys' lives and you have said, you know what, I'm going to be with this person and I'm going to help them and I'm going to be there with them and help guide them through our journey of our relationship, help them to really and truly understand me as a younger person, and or help them to truly understand me as an older person, right? And I'm there with them and I understand our differences, but when we come together, this is what it is. That's fully and thoroughly accepted. Pros and cons. The pros and the cons of the dating and relationships and age group. Okay. I just want to name some pros. I just want to name a little bit of pros. All right. Let's start with the pros. I like positivity first. So a positive thing about dating someone older or younger can be it's helpful to learn from one another. Okay, you hear often a lot from young ladies. I'm gonna say this. You hear often a lot from young ladies. I want a man that can teach me. Okay, I'm not gonna even hold y'all. I remember growing up, and my mother used to like in regular conversation, because my mother did not want me dating, don't get it twisted. She did not want me having no boyfriends. But in conversation, as I got older, but I was a little younger than what I am now, okay, she would tell me that dating an older guy can be beneficial because he can teach you some things, right? Fast forward into 2025, okay, I will not say that what she said was not true. However, I have experienced older guys. But the helpful part of learning from one another, like, is super duper dope. It is an experience that you may not have with someone that is your age or someone that you basically grew up with in a relationship. Okay. The knowledge and experience of the younger person to the older person can help them to understand and stay youthful, right, in the space that they're in. Okay, and to understand the world. If they happen to have kids, they can help them to understand their children more. If they happen to anything that's going on, because the world is constantly changing. Okay, and as we get older as a people, the younger people are keeping us in tune. Okay, they are keeping us where we need to be. There's so many situations where my daughter has bought certain things to me or whatever case may be, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then when I go back to my friends, they'll know about it, and they'll be like, girl, like, where you been at? Like, all the younger kids is doing this, or all the younger kids are wearing that, or this is the younger name brand, or whatever the case may be. So it's like, that's, you have to stay youthful, and you have to be in tune with the youth, right? And not to say that when you're dating someone younger, they're necessarily like young to be called youthful, but they are in a space where they understand what's going on out here. Okay, and you might not. And then the balance off of that is that you being older, dating younger, you will be able to uplift that person, in a mature way, a little faster, or when it's necessary, right? Because they can probably be the type of person that's very immature and know how to handle certain things, or whatever case may be, emotionally, right? And then you coming along, keeping them calmer, right? You're adding the mature aspect to things. You are, teaching them, like, you ain't got to be like that. You ain't got to be like this. You can do this. You can do that. Whatever case may be. Well, shit like that don't matter. Or I've been through that, and the outcome is only going to be this. It's not going to be what you think, or what. However it go, right? You can introduce them to like different age groups and different interactions. Different spaces, like different places. That goes back to that experience thing. Stuff like that. And all of those things are very, very healthy and pro health. Now we got the cons. Manipulation has always been at the top of my list when it comes to cons. Okay. It just has like cons. We know what cons are, right? Like a con artist, like we know what that is, or whatever case may be. So yeah, manipulation is definitely given. So when you're dating, gap dating, right? When you're dating anybody, manipulation is a issue. Okay. But when you are gap dating, that's what we're gonna call it. Manipulation is definitely heightened on both ends, though. On both ends. Okay. The whole younger version, adult like thing, we can play victim a lot. We can be like a damsel in distress, right? Not want to work, be lazy, not want to contribute, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do anything, right? I don't know how to do anything. Like, I'm just youthful and you wanted me, and I'm your young tenderoni, or I'm your young man, or whatever the case may be. I can't keep a job. Nobody's hiring. I'm trying to get a job, babe. We can go on and on and on. We already know how this goes, or whatever case may be. So yes, there's a lot of manipulation in relationships. That's the con in the gap relationships, right? And then the older person in a relationship, when it comes to a con, right, that we have to look at and we have to be aware, because it's very real, is the power and control of things. A lot of people date younger because they want to be in control. They enjoy being in control. They can't be in a relationship when they're not in control. They don't know how to not be in control. They don't know how to balance a healthy relationship. So they want to be in control. But sometimes the control can get so bad and get out of control that it becomes a fight for power. Okay. And then it can possibly, not all, but it can possibly become a domestic violence situation. People be power tripping, y'all. They be power tripping. They be power tripping in these relationships. Okay. And a lot of the times you see that in gap relationships, the power control. Okay. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep reiterating. Do not think that I'm only saying this only happens in relationships where there is a gap, in an age gap. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, because of the topic that we're discussing on tonight, that this happens in this dynamic all the time. All the time. Okay? A power and control thing when it comes to the older person to the younger person. A power and control thing when it comes from the younger person to an older person. Okay, victimization is power and control. Do not think that it's not, for one reason, for 1 second. Victimization, playing victim, is a form of manipulation to obtain power and control passively. We all love a little power play. Okay? We all love a little power play. There's not a lot of people out here who's just very, very, very confident in themselves and knowing that they're going to get what they want without having to with the power and control. It's not a lot of us. So it's different forms, shapes and forms. It looks different, but it's there. Okay. Another con, maturity and immaturity. Okay. You feel like you have to be involved with someone else's lifestyle. Okay. A lot of the times with age gap relationships, in order to feel relatable, right? I don't know if you feel like there's no compatibility, but in order to feel relatable, a lot of the times people feel like they got to get into each other's lives, and not on some like healthy shit. Like they feel like they got to do it like really get in their life, like, and control what's going on in their life, and control the friends and the this and the that. I remember dating somebody who was like a lot of years older than me, and I remember like always like partying around that time. Like I was partying around that time a lot, or whatever case may be. And he always was like, he used to party, but prior to me like dating him and stuff like that, like he would do his own thing or whatever case may be. Once we started dating, he was partying with me all the time. All the time. He wanted to get in my world. You know what I'm saying? I can tell that after a while, like it wasn't even like he wanted to really like be partying as much as I wanted to party, but because he wanted to get into my world, right? And whatever else, he was partying a lot. Okay. So that's what I mean. Like a lot of the times you want to feel relatable. So you try to get into the person's world. The maturity and the immaturity are definitely negatives. Like if one person is mature and the other person is very immature and not willing to change. And let me tell you something. Be reminded that I did not mention age. I said maturity. Okay. The younger version can be very mature, while the older version can be very immature. And it's not given. I'm just saying. In order for it to work, you would have to be independent and follow the meeting of the minds, right? Which will allow you to just enjoy each other. That is a suggestion that I have. Like I wrote it down or whatever, but that's a suggestion that I have. Like I feel like, and I feel like this with any relationship, I feel like your sense of independence is well needed. I don't think you should ever lose your sense of independence. I think that, however, I think that when you are in a relationship, just coming together at the meeting of the minds is what makes you guys compatible, right? It's kind of like, oh, you got your world over there, you got your world, and whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever, you got your world over here, you got your world over there. But when we come together, this is our world right here, right? So nothing is going to outweigh what we got. Or like one thing don't got nothing to do with another. Like this shouldn't interfere with this, and this shouldn't interfere with this. Like this is our thing. Okay. So it's no different when it comes to like age differences. Like we may not be able to be in each other's world all the time. All right. The group of friends you choose to hang out with, I don't like, I don't want to be with them all day. And then vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So, but when we come together, like the things that we have that are compatible and the things that we have that we both like and that we both enjoy and all of those kind of things, like this is what we together for. This is what I love you for. And this is what you love me for. Like we love each other, you know? The meeting of the minds, the meeting of the minds. Okay. Hitting life stages at different times can be a challenge, okay, or a struggle when it comes to emotional intimacy because of the different experiences. That is just a fact. That is going to happen. This is what happens. This is what dating outside of your age group does. Okay. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a tussle at times because it's like, yo, like sometimes when we date the same age group and stuff like that, we kind of just, I don't know, like it's just a comfortability. Like we just know like certain things to do and certain things to not do. We know what was popping and what was accepted and what wasn't accepted and this, that, and the third. But when you're dating like outside of your decade and stuff like that, you know, your spouse could do some shit that you be looking at them like, you borderline want to say weirdo, but you can't because you have to once again bring it down to understand that this is what he's doing. Like this is what he's doing, this is what she's doing, this is what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is what it is. Like I don't do that, but you know, this is what it is. And that's what that comes with. Like a lot of that's what that comes with. So yeah. It's crazy. You have to be patient. You have to know what you're getting yourself into. You have to know what you've gotten yourself into. Okay. And you have to accept people for who they are, right? You have to accept them for what you chose. Okay. And if you don't have the grace to accept them, don't do it. Okay. Because it's a challenge in itself, but it will be an extra challenge if you're trying to fight against the rocks that you captured. The purpose of this conversation was to bring enlightenment to a heavy scenario. This is definitely a heavy scenario. As light as it seems, it is a heavy scenario. There are more people dating outside of their age group than not. And like I said, we have a great percentage of people surviving, and it doesn't make a difference. And we have a great age group of people who did not survive and the ship sailed and things like that because of the age. But I also want you guys to understand that it's not just the age. All right, that was the purpose of having this conversation. It was not just the age, it is everything else that comes with the age. Okay, I'll even go as far as to say environment with the age. To shine some light in an area that can cause a dark situation at times. Okay. um I want to say that it's possible, like I've been saying. Okay. The dark areas of these kind of situations, a lot of people are not witness to, and a lot of people do not understand. There are a lot of situations that people are in that they have a gap in the age, okay, and they are being abused and they are being molested and raped and they are being taken advantage of, okay, and there is nothing that they can do about it. This is the situation that they chose, and this is the situation that has chose them. Okay. And they have no family, and they have no friends anymore, and they have nowhere to go, and they have no money, and they have nothing. Okay? Those are the dark sides to age gap dating. Okay? We see it. We've seen it. All right? I don't want to tap into the Diddy situation, but yeah, Cassie was 10 or 12 or 16 years younger than him or something like that. She was very, 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 very young. Either way, he found her when she was 18. He was already a fully fledged grown man with businesses and ventures and money and power and control. Okay? So I'm bringing light to a dark situation. I think I will pray that I am, and I will hope that I am, because there are some beautiful relationships that have transpired through this. Okay? And it's not talked about enough. And we need to celebrate the good and the bad, because everything works for us and not against us. Okay? If we went through something bad revolving any situation, or in this situation, it was to teach us something else that is going to be a possible good. So, yeah. In any situation, we have to know what we are ready for in getting ourselves into, and this is no different. Okay? I cannot say enough that we do not choose who we love, or they don't choose, or we don't choose who's going to love us, or anything like that. Okay? Especially when you are a light, you're going to attract everything, guys. However, we do choose who we choose. Let's not be naive to that. We choose who we choose. Okay? We can't be naive to that. All right? That's why we have to go into situations with ease, go into situations with awareness, go into situations, not knowing everything, but knowing that if you're going to be in a situation, like this is what you want to do. Okay? Understanding that gap dating can cause a lot. Okay? It could be more of a struggle. Like, it could just be more of a struggle in your relationship than the norm. So we're coming to an end, right? We're coming to an end on Drop the Mic Live Mic. And I really hope and pray that I touch somebody's heart on tonight. I really hope and pray that, if you are in a dark space with this type of situation, that you do find some type of light in it, or get the hell out. I really hope and pray that, the people that was like underestimating like a situation like this, like, if you feel the love, like, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, if God done put that bug in your ear, like, who are you to stop what God has brought to you? Like, who, like, girl, God, like, make it do what it do. You understand? And I really hope and pray that both the younger party in a relationship and the older party in a relationship, as in a relationship, bring forth fruit to the relationship. Okay? Do not get with people to be carried or manipulated. Or bring manipulation. That is not why we should be getting in these relationships. This situation does not have to be a bad situation. Okay? However, without the work being done to keep it healthy, the purity of it can diminish very quick. Let me read that again for y'all. Let me read that again. This situation does not have to be a bad situation. Okay? However, without the work being done I'm talking about the work. I'm talking about the work that's needed to keep the relationship going. Okay? Without the work being done, it can keep it, excuse me, without the work being done to keep it healthy, the purity of it can diminish very quickly. Okay? I am going to leave you guys with that message. I'm going to leave you guys with that message on tonight. And I am going to pray for each and every person that watched this live on tonight. If you have a friend who is going through this, if you have a family member, if you have a mother, cousin, sister, uncle, brother, son, daughter, or anything like that, that is going through this type of scenario, okay, I want you guys to share this live with them. All right. Oh, hell, share it with somebody who ain't going through this situation, because you just never know. Like, this situation is so common. It's so common. Okay. And I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed. All right. I'm Shannon E, and this is Drop the Mic Line Mike. I will see you guys very soon.